All right, let's talk about something that drives so many A-level sociology students nuts, those 4 and 6 mark questions. They seem like they should be easy points, but they can be surprisingly tough. Today, we're going to crack the code and show you exactly how to lock in those marks every single time. You know the feeling, right? You've revised, you know your stuff, but when you get your results back, you've dropped marks on these simple questions. It's super frustrating. But here's the good news. The reason you're losing marks probably has nothing to do with your knowledge, and the fix is way easier than you think. See, the whole secret here isn't about cramming more theories. It's all about technique. It's not about what you know. It's about how you show the examiner that you know it. It's a subtle but absolutely crucial difference. Okay, this right here, this is the most important piece of the puzzle. You have to stop thinking of a 4-mark question as one big answer. It's not. It's 2 separate 2-mark answers. And a 6-mark question, you guessed it, it's just 3 2-mark answers. Once you see it this way, everything changes. So if the game is all about scoring in these 2-mark chunks, then what we need is a reliable formula to get those 2 marks, right? Well, there is one. And honestly, it's like a master key that unlocks these questions. And here it is. It's this simple. Step 1, you identify your point. That's your first mark in the bag, nice and easy, but you can't stop there. For the second mark, you have to explain how or why your point leads to the outcome in the question. Identify, then explain. That's it. That's the whole secret. Okay, so that's the theory. Let's get our hands dirty and see how this thing actually works in a real exam situation. We're going to take a classic 4-mark question from the education topic and just apply our formula. So, here we go. You see this question on the paper. Outline 2 in-school factors. That word 2 should be like a flashing light in your brain. It's telling you, hey, this isn't one answer. This is 2 separate mini answers. Now, before you even start writing, you've got to do this one crucial thing. Decode the question. What's the cause it's asking for? In this case, it's in-school factors. And what's the effect? Gender differences in educational achievement. Your entire answer is just about building a clear bridge between those 2 things. Now for your identify step, you've got plenty of options. You could talk about any of these. Let's just pick one. How about teachers as role models? The second you write that down, you've identified your point. That's 1 mark, guaranteed. And this right here shows you exactly where that second mark comes from. The weak answer just names the factor. It identifies it, 1 mark. But look at the strong answer. It identifies role models. Then it builds the bridge, the explanation. It links the lack of male role models for boys and the presence of female ones for girls directly to their achievement. Boom, 2 marks. And for our second point to get the full 4 marks, we just do it again. We identify our factor, teacher interactions. Then we explain how it affects gender achievement. Girls get positive interactions. Boys might get negative ones, which changes teacher expectations and hurts their learning. We've connected the cause to the effect. That's another 2 marks in the bank. Simple as that. So we've totally nailed the 4-marker, but what about those bigger, kind of scarier 6-mark questions? Well, what if I told you it's the exact same formula? You don't need any new skills. You just have to do what you just did, but 3 times. Let's check out a typical 6-marker. Outline 3 criticisms. Again, there's that magic word, 3. The examiner is literally handing you a Mac. They want 3 distinct points, and they're going to give you 2 marks for each one you explain properly. So, what do we do first? We decode. What's the core idea here? Criticisms that Marxists make. And what's the context? It's about the education system. This is so important. You can't just list random Marxist ideas. You have to explain how they apply specifically to education. This table is basically your answer plan. The column on the left has your identify points, the name of the Marxist idea, and the column on the right, that's your explain part, how education actually does that thing. So let's just pick one and build it out. Okay, for our first 2 marks, we identify the criticism. Education promotes a myth of meritocracy. Then we explain it. How does it do that? Well, by teaching working-class kids to blame themselves when they fail instead of blaming an unequal system. It stops them from challenging the status quo. Identify, explain. 2 marks, done. For the next 2 marks, we just rinse and repeat. Identify the next point. Education creates a docile workforce. And explain how it uses the correspondence principle to teach obedience, making them perfect, unquestioning workers for the future. That's another 2 marks. You just do that one more time and you've got a perfect 6 out of 6. So we've gone through a lot. But look, when you're in that exam hall, the pressure is on and your mind might go a little blank. If you only remember one thing from all of this, I want it to be this next bit. This is your exam gold. The golden rule is this: before you write a single word, just take a second, take a breath, and decode the question. I promise you, more marks are lost by students accidentally answering the wrong question than by not knowing the sociology. And decoding just means asking yourself these two simple questions. What is the cause I need to talk about? And what is the effect I need to link it to? Once you've got those two things clear in your head, your answer just becomes the bridge that connects them. Look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is a real, practical tool you can put in your exam toolkit right now. So the final question really is for you. The next time you look at a practice paper, how are you going to use this identify and explain formula to go in there and confidently claim every single mark you deserve?